Welcome to It's Just Our Opinion podcast and video. Remember, everything we say on here represents just that, our opinion. It doesn't represent any employer or anybody that we may work with or represent.
No, we don't want to give anybody's opinion but ours. Hey, I'm Ray, and
This is Josh.
we just here really just to do some talking today and let you know a few things that may be funny and it's there again, as we said before, it's just our opinion, so it really don't matter if it's true or not, does it?
That's right. Well, let's get started. Some topics in the news. We're going to kind of do a different format. We've talked about several things in our other shows, but let's jump into what's in the news. We're going to start out in South Florida, where there was a lightning strike that went through the septic system and blew up a toilet in South Florida this past week.
Don't you know that was a messy scene? I mean, I hope if anybody was sitting there,
I don't think anybody was.
They had really not got started good.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was. The woman that it was talking about said they heard a loud explosion in the bathroom. And I just thought about, think about how lightning travels and how it hit that septic system and came through and made an explosion. As you said, if somebody was sitting on that. Now, when I say the toilet's about to blow up, it usually means a different thing. So.
Oh, that's me too. I tell you, we was traveling down to the beach here just a few weeks ago, and we stopped by the rest area, going right there before you get to Montgomery. And we went in the restroom. Of course, Gina went in the ladies, and I went in the men. And
I'm glad you went in.
Well, we started doing that a long time ago. We try to make sure that we go in the right ones. But you don't want to get too graphic, but I was standing there taking care of business, and all of a sudden I heard an explosion. But I'm sure it wasn't the same explosion. Everybody just kind of turned around and looked, and we all kind of took our time washing our hands, trying to see who was going to come out of that stall.
That's a kind of the man rule. Like, I mean, I've been in that stall before. And, you know that you always wait until there's no sounds on the outside before you come out.
I know, and that's what kind of threw me off, because anybody sitting there could see 3 rows of feet standing right there. But I tell you what, it was so loud that you would have thought somebody was hurting. And we all 3 finally got through what we dried our hands for about 3 minutes, hoping the guy would come out so we could see what he looked like, because he had to be a powerful guy. And I'm just glad he was sitting down. It had been a mess to have to clean up. But we never seen nobody come out. So.
Yeah, he was probably hanging out for a while until the coast was clear before he came out. Because I know that's what I do. If it's that rough, if it's that bad, then I kind of wait till the area is clear so nobody knows me.
Oh yeah, because you never know. I have actually met people at that rest area that I knew, and so you always kind of look around before you go in if you got to sit down, and then run in real quick. But can you imagine lightning running in on a sewer system?
I know it would be. You don't think about that stuff. You think of lightning strikes. I know. I remember a story being told to me at a young age. A guy came talked at our school and was even talking about a lightning strike that ran through some of the lines and some of the power in his house and came through a lamp and struck his braces.
Oh man!
I remember that story being told by a guy coming to school. You don't think about it when lightning strikes outside, how it can run through these pathways in your house. You're always told don't take a bath or shower or something like that. But you don't ever think about a toilet.
No, you never do. You never think about it. If you gotta go, you just think, well, I'm not going to take a shower or a bath, but you got to do the essentials. But you never think about lightning running in. We've been fortunate; we've never had lightning run in on us at all, and so. We got the kids that sang that song, "Go Thunder and Lightning."
Yeah, that's all your favorite song.
Oh, he loves that.
When you go to the bathroom, I might have to think twice before going to the bathroom in a thunderstorm now. That might run across my mind after reading this story.
You definitely may want to check the radar before you sit down.
Well, I got that under control. Let's go to another story. There is a bacon intern needed in California. They're paying $1,000. You can apply for a bacon internship where you just eat bacon all day and get paid $1,000 for it. It's a restaurant called Farmer Boys in California. They didn't have internships like that when I was coming out of
Oh,
school.
they didn't me either. I tell you, I would have flew out there in a minute. I probably hitchhiked if I had to. Bacon is everybody's favorite food.
I agree with that.
I mean, now you got some people say they don't eat bacon, but I just can't imagine anybody not eating bacon. You know, you can take asparagus and wrap bacon around it, and people will eat it and say it's good.
You know, there's chocolate covered bacon too.
I ain't tried that one, but you know, I would like it. You know, bacon is just an international food. You can take it. I mean, I'm telling you, people that don't even like to eat, you wrap some bacon around it, and then they're gonna eat it because it's bacon wrapped. And I'm a fan of bacon. I had a pig one time named Bacon. We raised it and killed it, and so I let Micah name it, and so I said, "What you want to name it?" She wanted to name it Bacon, and you know, she never knew that was the bacon that when she was eating it later on. But it was bacon. I love bacon.
Me too. I like bacon. It's a breakfast food. It's a supper food. It's a lunchtime food. And you can have it any time of the day. You cannot go wrong with bacon. I mean, you can put bacon in. You know, we have bacon bits. We'll put it on salads. I don't like those cheap bacon bits. I like the real piece of the bacon on salad.
Yes.
But imagine getting paid $1,000 just to go eat this stuff. I mean,
you know, we may want to look into that as a part-time job. You know, if it's $1,000, I'd do it for 500. You know, plus you get your trip out there to California.
That's right.
And you know, I wonder what kind of bacon they eat in California. I mean, they don't raise many hogs out there, do they?
Actually, I mean, their hog market is probably. I've never looked at California hog market. I know they're known for their vegetable production and things like that. Midwest is really where the hog. We used to have a hog market here, and there's still a few hog farms left over in the DeKalb County area, the Sand Mountain area. There's a few. I've got a few buddies that actually raise hogs over there. But you know, kind of everything. The hog industry moved north to North Carolina and some of the Corn Belt area because it went closer to where the corn commodity was to feed the hogs.
Well, that'd be a great job. I mean, I guarantee you, if I really needed a job and wanted to retire somewhere, I would probably go out and try to be a bacon eater.
So I'll give you kind of stump Ray here. You know what part of the hog the bacon comes from?
It's not the head or the feet.
No, it's not the head. Thank God for that.
Yeah, I really don't know where
it's actually the lower part of the belly. That's where the bacon comes from, and it's actually a slab there called the lower 1/3. Now here's you a trick question about pigs. Where's the Boston butt come from?
The Boston butt. Now everybody thinks they come from Boston, but they
the part of the pig, right?
The part of the pig. Well, I would think it would probably be back toward the shoulders.
It is actually towards the shoulders. You asked a lot of students that, and a lot of people that they think it comes from the rear end of the pig, but the ham actually comes from the rear end of the pig, and the Boston butt actually comes from the shoulder area.
Can you imagine how many people really think it comes from Boston? I mean, and I don't know where it comes from, how they got the name Boston butt. I mean,
I never looked into that. That may be something we need to talk about on our show.
That would be.
When I have time to look it up and figure out where why I got that name.
Because I've always wondered that.
Well, it's like buffalo chicken wings. I mean, Buffalo, New York is where the chicken wings, the way, I guess, the sauce or whatever the buffalo sauce they put on it originated. But there's always been chicken wings. And
always been chicken. We got wings here.
That's right.
We got Boston butts here, too. They're not from Boston, though. But.
All right, let's move on. You got any stories you want to tell us? Any stories from the past? I mean, we're going to get in the sports segment here in a second, but we'll go. If you got a story you want to share with us, I'll let you share.
You know, I'm never really good at stories. I just try to make them up. You know, I used to do that with the kids when they was growing up. They always liked for me to tell them stories at night. You know, Ellie and Chance were the world's worst. They loved when they would go down, lay down for bed. They'd always want me to tell a story. And so, you know, I would just make them up as we went. And I'd always have a kid in it named Ellie and a kid named Chance. And I don't think they ever realized it was them I was talking about. But we'd make it up, and you know, that was a good thing with them growing up. The funny thing is, always Chance would always say when I got started, "Papa, don't make it scary." Because, you know, I try to
This
make
is where the
scary.
Zumbas come from.
That's where Zumbas and all that
Zumbas.
stuff come from.
The
Black
Zumbas are
bears.
well known around our household around here.
Oh, yeah. Zumbas has been around ever since we've had grandkids.
Well, let's get in the sports segment right here. Let's jump over into sports. Let's look at, as we are about 20 days away from college. Well, we're actually, that'll be Thursday night game. I forgot who's on the Thursday night slate. It's actually a pretty good team, I think, that's coming up. But we're only about 18 days away from college football season. So let's just go through and give what we think right now. We may actually have a guest appearance in a couple of weeks that we can get somebody to come on and talk about their thoughts about the upcoming season. As you can see, this is kind of a random show. We talk about news stories. We talk a little bit about everything because that's we just want to get our opinion out there on what we think on, and not be too serious about stuff. But let me talk about the Auburn Tigers for a second, if you don't mind.
No. We're going to pull for them.
Well, you know, just going into the quarterback battle, it's really been hush-hush down on the plains. We've had. I know that Gus has talked a couple times this week about scrimmages, and there's not been a clear distinction going into the season. So we have Joey Gatewood Joey Gatewood and Bo Nix that's competing for that quarterback battle. We actually had one of our fastest receivers had a hand surgery, so he's going to be day-to-day and hopefully get him back for Oregon, as that's the first game. That's the thing about this season, the Auburn Tigers, that I will say this is a pivotal point in the Auburn Tigers and the Gus Malzahn era as they go forward, because we're going to find out right out of the gate what the Auburn Tigers have with a pretty worthy opponent and probably maybe a Heisman candidate with the Oregon quarterback, and we're going to find out what Auburn has right off the bat. So we'll see. My personal prediction is going with them. As of today, I think we're 8 or 9 wins. I don't think we're a national championship team. I think we have the caliber of defense to be really good, but I think there's too many questions on offense that hadn't been answered. But usually when I have this opinion about the Auburn Tigers, that's when they really do really well. So
that's
we'll
what
see.
I was thinking. You know, Auburn's always through the years been traditionally surprise people when they predict them not to really do that good. That's when they're good. And you know, Malzahn's got a lot on the line this year. I mean,
his seat was pretty hot at the end of the last season.
It was real hot, and you know he's negotiating more than just who's going to be the quarterback.
That's right.
He's trying to make sure his house paid off. But you know, I really think that they're set to do good. Nix he's a local guy, I believe, and
he's from Alabama. He's from down in Birmingham in a school down there. He is actually his dad played for Auburn in the past, so he's kind of has that Auburn tie. Now Joey Gatewood's more of your dual threat quarterback that Gus Malzahn's been used to in the past in his offenses. So it'll be interesting because there's a lot of hype around Bo Nix. He was an outstanding high school player. He's a true freshman though. Joey Gatewood was a redshirt freshman, and he has a dual threat, and he's kind of built like it's about 6'3", 6'4", and a pretty good sized boy. So we'll see how they do. Just a couple other teams going into it. I want to save maybe Alabama for a couple more weeks so we can get into that discussion, because I really think they're the contender. They've got a lot to prove after losing to Clemson this season, so we can save them to talk about them.
They've got to really get ready for football. You know, a lot of the players had seen it. They opened up with Duke, and Saban come in just the other day and seen them all shooting basketball. They thought they was going to be playing them in basketball. You know, Duke traditionally don't play football, and so he had to get them back out on the field to get them ready for football, because those guys, they thinking, Coach, we're only 5 at a time going to get to play, and he said, no, we're going to play them in football. And
I think they'll handle them in football. I think they'll be able to cover the spread.
Well, I think they will too, and I'm just glad they're opening up with such a tough opponent after they ended with Clemson last year. And to get everything going again like it needs to. Alabama traditionally that's going to be good, and that'll be a good subject here in a few weeks.
Yeah, we'll talk about it going forward. I mean, there's no question Tua is going to be a Heisman front runner going into that. a couple
you
other.
talking about which one? Now there's two.
Not Tua. Now we'll save Tallulah for a couple of seasons. I think the Auburn Tigers may have a few things to worry about. Me being an Auburn graduate, we have a few things to worry about for seasons to come with another. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his last name because I butcher it every time. So
we don't want to do that.
couple other things that a couple other teams that I think may surprise this year. We're just going to stay in the West. I think Texas A&M with Jimbo Fisher may actually be in contender for the runner-up in the West. I think them and LSU have a good chance. LSU is kind of that team. Ed Orgeron knows how to rally the troops. You may not understand him every time he talks, but he knows how to rally the troops up. He knows how to do it. So I think he'll slip up and win some games. And I think Jimbo Fisher is an excellent recruiter. We'll see how he does in the SEC after he left Florida State 2 years ago and joined the SEC. So this is kind of his year to step out. And I really think those two might be contenders for runner-up. I think Alabama is, of course, the team to beat that's on top. That's hard for an Auburn guy to say, but I mean it's
just tradition. You usually don't really try to speculate on how many games Alabama's going to win. You used to try to say how many you think they'll lose. It just makes it easier that way. So
it's usually one or none. So
yeah. So they're definitely a contender. There's no doubt about it. And I think they're going to be contenders until Saban decides to retire. And he's only 65, 66. So he's got about another 12 years. Paterno stayed till he was 94, I think. He wasn't quite 94, but traditionally, that he's proven to be there. So the SEC is going to be tough. If you look around, it's always tough. You can go into a game 0-8 and still be competitive. With each other in the SEC.
Yeah, we learned that from Tennessee last year as they beat the Auburn Tigers. I didn't think that was going to happen, but this may be the year that an assistant of Nick Saban might have a chance to beat, a slim chance, but might have a chance to beat him because you got Kirby Smart, and then you got our boy in Tennessee that's coaching Tennessee. I don't think they'll get the job done, but actually he's doing a really good job up there following their recruiting. I do think Mr. Pruitt, Coach Pruitt up there is doing a fabulous job of recruiting, just following some of the things he did, and that speaks volumes to Nick Saban, to my opinion. I mean, I know he loses coaches every year, but it's kind of like I told my ag teacher, and you train people and you want them to leave. You don't want them to stay with you forever because you want to coach them in a way to be successful. So
you want to see them move on. And most of the time when you folks move on, you don't want to schedule games with them for a few years because they know you play.
That's right.
But hey, I'm looking forward to it too. The football season's nearly here, and we're big fans. I mean, we try to stay in the house now because Gina gets so loud when we go to games and stuff. So
I stopped watching games with Gina. We can't watch the Iron Bowl together.
No, she loves to scream and holler But it really gets into it. That's what it's about. But we watch most of them here in the living room now.
That's right. Well, hey, that's our show. It went by quick, but hey, we just want you to know, no matter what we say,
it's just our opinion. Thanks for watching. Anyways, I mean, it should be 18.
18:30.
I couldn't ever say the time.
18:30. That's right.
Okay, that's good.
When are you coming back?
I won't be back. I won't spend Friday and Saturday with Michael. We'll be back Sunday.
Well,
we're not leaving until next Monday morning, not tomorrow. But next.
Y'all not leaving until next week?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, I'm here all this week.
Y'all here next weekend, or y'all leaving next weekend?
Yeah, we was gonna leave. Patty's going out of town, so we got to watch the boys Saturday, Sunday.
Of this coming
weekend. Of this coming, yeah.
So we can record another one.
Yeah, during the
week. We can record one during the week. We can drop this one this week and then record and
just
drop
leave
one.
us out here unless you need. Well, you need to take that with you, though, don't you?
I may come back and get it.
Yeah, all this other stuff, we just leave.
I don't want to charge it.
Just leave it like this. I'm gonna get us a better table, too.
We need to go ahead and stop on that because it's still recording.
Yeah.
I'll just have to delete that.